All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Happy Tuesday. I am the dynamic daring one of a kind diva Denise Silence. Welcome to Let's Talk About It Tuesday. Excited to have this phenomenal woman that we're going to be able to hear from tonight as we continue with our series of Women of Strength. So last month we did Women of Wisdom. This month we're doing Women of Strength. So we get to hear from women who are going through the journey of taking care of individuals with their children with special needs. So I'm excited for you to hear from Rebecca. But before we get started, we're going to do like we always do. First, make sure you put in the chat where you're tuning in from. If this is your first time tuning in with us, please put first timer. But if you are a repeat offender, go ahead and put that in the chat as well. So I'm going to jump on over because I definitely want to give Rebecca good timing to share, and I'm looking forward to you guys meeting her because I have known her for several years. Let's pull everything up here. Awesome. So here we go. So Let's Talk About It Tuesday is one of the activities that the Empowered by DS hosts. Empowered by DS is myself along with my two daughters, DS being for Denise Silas. We are on a mission to empower women to be the best version of themselves. We do it through experiences like this. In addition to our Let's Talk About It Tuesday that we do every Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. We probably missed 3 in the whole entire year. So we just hit our anniversary of doing it for a year. So excited about that. But we're continued on our mission to just bring this our platform and bring any individuals who have testimonies or individuals who are experts in an area to just share and help to encourage women and to help give them hope and build confidence. So in addition to that, we do a evening type of activity called Divas Dinner and Dialogue. Through that opportunity, we build confidence through community and connection. Also host quarterly workshops with that. It's all about building professional and personal development. And then I do a quarterly subscription box. I'm excited because not only do our individuals who have subscribed to do it quarterly get it, but now several women of our Decide tribe that's in the Experience, Elevate, or the elite levels of our Decide tribe are also now getting to experience this. And this is a box that goes to them quarterly, which have some self-care items in it. But my most exciting thing about it is the customized journal that we put together just to help them to focus on things that's important to them. In that journal, it's just every week, it's just pulling things that is going to help them get closer to their goals. So I'm excited to have them do that. Our theme for this quarter is obedience over outcome. So every quarter we have a different theme, and then all of the branding and the color is around and centered around that theme. At the end of the year, we bring it all together with annually we do different things. Of course, many of you know about my Feel the Healing and How to Heal in memory of my sister. So we have been doing that. I think this will be our 16th event this year that we have been doing for her. April 15th. Is that tomorrow? April 15th is the anniversary of her passing. So we'll have that. My mom's anniversary was April 12th. So April is a very significant month for my family in memory of my sister and my mom, who both have won the battle of cancer. So they are in a better place, of course, that we know. Then we do Focus Challenge, which is all about fitness and wellness. And I'm excited. The time is here. Next weekend, we'll be headed to our day away excursion to Birmingham. So I'm taking 51 women to Birmingham, where we're going to leave bright and early in the morning. We're going to do a retreat physically, actually on the bus. And then when we get there, we have some shopping, we're going to go to Civil Rights Institute, have some fun pastries, some good eating, and some good bonding as well. So this is our second year. Last year we did Nashville, and this year we're doing Birmingham. And at the end of the year, we do what's called the Vision to Victory. So we start off the year with a vision board experience, helping women to get focused on what's important to them. And all year we're connecting with them, helping them to build their confidence. And then we celebrate at the end of the year. So this is some of the things that we do. In February, we launched our brand new Decide Tribe membership-based community. I'm excited. There are 31 women currently in the tribe. We started off with 26 women. These are our chartered women who believed in my dream and knew that there is a place for them to participate in, whether it's the collective level, the experience, elite, or the Elevate level. There is a place for everyone. Our whole goal is help women to build community and connection, to support each other, have a safe space to grow, to let down their hair and do various things. And we have, in addition to this night, we do a book club with our ladies as well. So I'm excited, you guys. If you have not jumped in, it's not too late to jump in. If you're not a part of our tribe, I still encourage you to get the book, The Mountain Is You. It talks about self-sabotage and some things that may be holding you back, which is you. And it's just a good time. And our facilitator, Keisha Hall, is amazing. So if you have been participating in our book club, go ahead and put in the chat, give us a thumbs up, and let us know that you have been there. But it is good. So it's not too late. We're starting chapter 4. We go every other week. April 23rd is our next meeting at 7. It's via Zoom. As well. So we're looking to grow together. Well, this is the trip that we're talking about. So ladies, be looking for, if you're going with us, put it in the chat, put a bus in the chat. If you're going to be, are you going to be on the bus? Are you going to be on the bus to Birmingham? So put it in. You'll be looking out on email. If you have not filled out your attendee form, please do that, because we want to make sure we include everybody and make sure we don't miss anything. And definitely be checking in, because I have some more information I'll be sending to you in the next week or so, before we head out next weekend. This is something we added at the beginning of this month. Oh my gosh. So not only are we working with women to build their confidence, but it's the 5 F's is what I focus on. So our faith, building our faith, our fitness and our wellness, family and relationships, our finances and our career development, and fun. So we kicked off at the beginning of this month our Sacred Start, where we come together and pray to get our month started. That was facilitated by our own Pamela Craddock, who's on here. And it was such oh my gosh, it was an amazing experience. So I'm excited. That's another thing that we have added for our tribe to help them to continue to grow. So this month, you guys, is all about just hearing the journey so that we can be better support of moms who are going through the journey with individuals with intellectual or physical disabilities. In honor of this month is National Autism Awareness Month. And then last month was National Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities Month. So in honor of those 2 months is why I did this series. So each of these mothers that's shown on here, they are all advocates for their children. And I'm excited to hear their stories, and really excited to hear from Rebecca tonight as well, because I have known her for quite some time. So keep up with what we're doing, see what we're doing. Go to empoweredbyds.com and see all the great things that are happening as we continue to grow. Our theme for this year is Align, Become, and Conquer. So everything we're doing is helping people get back in alignment with their assignment, and to become the person that God has called them to be, and be courageous enough to conquer that and stand strong in it as well. So as we get ready to meet Miss Rebecca, I'm going to do this kind of flip way. Before I introduce you guys to Rebecca, I have been blessed to work with her on their board for, I think, about 6 years. And then I am now excited to work with her. I came off the board and now work for her as being able to build relationships in our community, which I have been doing for the last, since I've been here for the last 17 years. And now I'm excited to be able to give back to the ARC in this way, and you'll learn more about that. So before I read your bio, Rebecca, I want you to share, you sent me some pictures. And so I want you to share what, I'm going to do this, and then we have the other ones as well. But tell us a little bit about these pictures and what made you send these.
Well, I guess normally when I'm speaking, I'm talking about my job as the director of the ARC Northwest Mississippi. And so I was going through my camera, and I was just looking for all of the times that I had taken selfies with folks that are at our events. And I think that kind of just encompasses like the love and the connection and the affection that everyone at the ARC has for the people that we serve, folks with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And so I just kind of I love those pictures. And then I sent pictures with Ethan too, right? Do
Right.
you
So
have them
this,
up?
can you see the screen? You can't see the screen.
No, not yet. I'm sorry.
So this
Oh
on
yeah,
this,
okay, I found it. No, those
okay,
aren't the pictures. Okay. All right. Take two. I
okay.
didn't know what picture. I remember. Okay. All right, so these are pictures of my fabulous son Ethan. This is my son that has autism. I also have another son named Jake, and he does not have a developmental disability. He right now is in his first year of law school at Mississippi College, and my amazing son Ethan has level 2 autism, and he is finishing his associate's degree in graphic design at Northwest Community College this year. And so I shared that picture of Ethan when he was a little tiny guy right there. And then he and I were about to step on an airplane. And that other picture, we were together there. And then there's a picture of him graduating from high school. And then our family picture with the green shirts on, that was at an ARC event at our golf, mini golf tournament that we have. And I guess I really included that one just to show how my whole family is involved in my job and how everybody really bands together to do things as one, as a group.
And then this one is the collage, and then I put Karen with this so
Yes.
that y'all work together.
Yes, yes. And so I included this picture of my sister Karen because my sister Karen was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer this year. And we went to Paris together in September. So we really like the journey with Ethan, although now is becoming a lot easier. This journey and now is beginning with my sister, which is so difficult. So.
Mm, mm. So, and these are some of the pictures with her serving at the Ark, which is you'll learn more
Yes.
about as well. So, okay.
Yes.
So now, instead of having to interrupt, I'm going to now introduce you. Let me bring you on to the stage, as I call it,
Okay.
and get you there too. I'm gonna bring myself up with you. Wrong thing. How do I do? Here we go. Add to the spotlight. Okay, so here we go. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, so I'm excited to have you. When you said to me, it's not often I get to talk about Ethan, just my as a mom, as
Yeah.
much because of what you had to talk. So I was so glad that made this confirm why I invited you to be one of the moms to showcase. So here we go. Rebecca Treadway has what she considers the best job in the world, and at its core is a job rooted in service. As executive director of the ARC Northwest Mississippi, Rebecca leads efforts to create meaningful opportunities for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities, helping them live full, connected lives while also supporting the families who walk alongside them. Her work is not just about programs and events, but about building a stronger, more inclusive community for everyone. Rebecca's path to this work was deeply personal. Originally trained in music education at Baldwin Wallace Conservatory of Music and the University of Memphis, her life shifted in 2008 when she became an autism mom. What began as a search for support quickly grew into a calling to serve not just her own child, but countless others. In 2014, she helped establish the ARC Northwest Mississippi, where she found both her purpose and her platform for impact. Under her leadership, the organization has grown in reach and influence, earning honors such as the Community Foundation of North Mississippi's Nonprofit of the Year, while Rebecca herself was named South Haven's Woman of the Year. Rebecca believes that service is at its best when it creates lasting change, not just meeting needs, but opening doors. That belief continues to guide her work every day. She lives in Olive Branch, Mississippi with her husband Craig and their two sons, Jake and Ethan, and remains deeply grateful that her life's work allows her to serve others in such a meaningful way. So welcome, welcome, welcome to Let's Talk About It Tuesday, Rebecca. Thank you so much for saying yes. Because of your yes, you help me serve others as well. So I am very grateful for you today. So,
Wonderful.
so I sent you a series of questions, so we'll go through the questions. But of
Okay.
course, during it, sometimes I'll ask you other questions. And The ladies are also invited to put in the chat any questions, and I'll try to monitor them and to include those as well. So I
Sure.
appreciate you so much. And you said that you're currently at the ARC. So
I
tell
am,
them,
yes.
tell them real quickly about why you're there right now, and then we'll get started in our questions.
This night we had a parent support group meeting where we bring in professionals in the community, and parents can come and they give a presentation, and there's some back and forth discourse and just in general helping parents on their journey. And so our meeting was from 6:30 to 8. So I snuck out a little bit early and hopped here onto this meeting.
Wonderful, wonderful. So of the many great things that you do. So let's go ahead and get started. So can you share a little about your child and when you first learned about Ethan's diagnosis?
Right. So I guess when Ethan was about 2.5 years old, I had to start accepting the fact that maybe he was not developing typically. Things that I just thought were hard-headedness. My mother-in-law tells lots of stories about my husband being super hard-headed as a young child. But there just came a point where it was obvious that I had to address an issue, that we had to address an issue. And so we started to pursue diagnosis and start to figure out that my son definitely did have autism. And then we had to, accept and start figuring out how to fix the problem.
Okay. So you said he was at 2.5 years old. Okay.
Yes, but it takes so long to get a diagnosis. He didn't really get diagnosed until about 6 months later.
Okay. So 6 months. Okay. What emotions did you experience in the early stages, and how did you begin to navigate them?
So I love this question. I know I sometimes, when I look back on it, I feel a little bit guilty about what I went through, but I think there's no other way. I think most moms go through this. So you just really kind of walk through all of the stages of grief. Denial and anger and bargaining and depression, and then finally to acceptance. And sometimes you kind of go back and forth, like one day you're accepting and the next day you're angry again. And you just kind of just got to keep pushing forward until you get to a place where you feel better about it. In 1987, a lady named Emily Pearl Kingsley wrote an essay called Welcome to Holland. And Miss Kingsley is actually most well known for her work on Sesame Street. But she wrote this really wonderful kind of poem, short essay about when you're pregnant, it's like you're going to go on a trip to Italy, and you buy the guidebooks and you plan your adventure, and then when you get off the plane, you realize that you're not in Italy, you're in Holland. And so Holland isn't really a bad place, but it's not Italy, but you really need to be happy and realize all the beauty that there is in Holland, and not just be sad about the fact that you're not in Italy. And that guided me so much through my journey that, yes, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be, but my son is fabulous in so many ways. And that I don't have to be in Italy. I'm happy to be in Holland. So I feel like I I looked to a lot of resources around me. I read a lot. I talked with a lot of professionals, and I just kept pushing forward.
Awesome. Awesome. So the acceptance of it and accepting your reality and making the best of your reality.
Yes.
Uh-oh. What has this journey taught you about yourself that you may not have discovered otherwise?
Well, I think that there is just nothing that I can't do if I put my mind to it and I do it. I had no idea what it was going to be like to change my son's autistic behaviors. Um, uh, at the time, of course, applied behavior analysis therapy was a thing. You just couldn't get it. And so I just bought the book and learned how to do it. And I sat down and started to do the therapy myself. And then I realized that there was not enough resources in the community. And so thankfully, my husband was really supportive of me. And so I figured out a plan and started this nonprofit. So what I really gained from this is that if I have something that I feel like needs to be done, I'm going to figure out how to do it, and I'm going to help as many people along the way as I can.
Awesome. And that one line right there can apply to any of us in any area of our life, that we, instead of us complaining about it, right, or saying what is not available, there's not the resources, is how we're going to put on our big girl panties and find it, figure it out, and get what we need. So I love it. I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, and she kept complaining about what was not happening. And I said, all I know is you got to fight for your child. Like, stop saying what the people aren't doing and figure it out. So I love how you said that, and I think we can all take from that and whatever we're experiencing. Um, okay, what are some of the biggest challenges you face, and how have you found the strength to keep going?
So I think with my son, we had like seasons of behavior. So at first, there was just a lot of violent behavior that happened because he was unable to communicate his wants and his needs. And so there was so much hitting, biting, kicking, that it was just really overwhelming. I would go outside at night. My backyard at the time had this like little 3 foot fence that went all the way across. It was like a stone thing, and I would walk across it back and forth, just to decompress and try to pull myself together, because I was living such a violent time with him. Because you would not think a 3 and 4 year old could beat on you the way this child could beat on me. And so getting through that and finally getting him to understand effective ways to communicate, and me to understand what he was trying to tell me, that was really the hardest place. And then, of course, there's been others. We say that having autism is like being on a roller coaster. There are some times where it's all uphill, and then other times where you're coasting. Sometimes we're coasting, and then like things happen, and you're like, oh, wait, we still do have autism, and we have to face those things. Um, and I know this is like a kind of a taboo, uncomfortable thing sometimes to talk about, but this is true for lots of people with autism. When kids hit puberty, like their bodies awaken in a way that we don't often feel comfortable talking about. That's really hard on autistic parents, because we can't really have normal conversations with our child, like the birds and the bees, like that has to be a very modified discussion. That was a tough time for us. We made it through it, but that's just something that I think typical parents don't really realize or understand that special needs parents are going through. So I think those are kind of our two hardest times.
When you talk about the violence, remind me of what a friend was telling me when she first kind of discovered her son. But I think about the Ethan I know today. I can't even imagine him
I know.
being like, when you say that, I'm like, wow, the same Ethan that just comes and try to help you out, and it's just so it's awesome. That reminds me, your current chapter, it's like you live through a chapter, but that's not the end of the story. Like, if you keep going, this doesn't have to be, and I'm sure at that time you thought this was going to never end, but the fact of just knowing the Ethan I know today, I can't even imagine what you're talking about, but it also gives me hope for that friend,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
what she was
definitely.
going through.
All behavior changes in time. You just have to put the right force on it, push it in the right direction, and things change. When I advocate for people in IEP meetings, I'm always saying to the teacher, you have no understanding of what this little 7-year-old is going to look like when they're 19 and 20 years old. This is not an indication of where they're going to be.
And you can't give up on them because of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Because of
And I
that.
remember I feeling like I had my master's degree. I'd spent all this time in college. I'm like, I'm never going to become anything. All I'm ever going to be able to do is manage this child's behavior. It just
Mhm.
felt like every day that what am I even doing? How could this have happened? And it was the devil. It really was. Like, I had to get myself under control and realize that this is just now in this one little moment, and it passes. And so that's like such an important message to moms at the beginning of this journey, is that this is not forever. This is just the way it is in the moment, and you have to like pull all your resources together to successfully change the behavior so you can move on.
Mm. So, and to know that you can successfully change the behavior. And that's probably what a lot of moms don't think. They think that's just
Yeah.
how it's going to be.
Yeah,
So,
because it feels horrible at the time. It
mm,
does.
thank you for sharing that. Who or what has been your greatest source of support, and how important has community been for you?
Okay. Well, it's definitely my husband, but don't tell him that.
Okay.
No, like I feel like we had this moment as husband and wife when there was this one time where Ethan was attacking me and we were holding him down on the floor and he looked at me and he said, "We're never ever going to be able to get divorced. You know that, right?" And I'm like, "I know that. We're never getting divorced."
Wow.
So, I mean, we just dug in and figured it out and discussed, and that didn't work. Now, what are we going to try to do? And so he, of course, has been just the hinge pin of everything in my life to make things work out. But also, I don't want to miss this opportunity to talk about community because every step of the way, I have relied on people and sometimes I see parents come to talk to me at the ARC and they have not activated their community and they really need to. So my neighbors all know my son. He talks to them. He's been to their houses. My church family wraps their arms around him. If I had any problem at all, there is a list 15 deep that I could call and say, Ethan's stuck on the side of the road with a flat tire. I'm in a meeting. Could you go help him? People would be jumping to go help Ethan. Developing that circle around you is absolutely essential. You have to have more people that are there to support and to love and to help push you along.
I know the importance of that, and I didn't have kids with special needs. I just know that you can't do anything alone. I believe with my heart of hearts, you cannot do anything alone. So, and I would think it's needed even more. But have you had situations where you've seen individuals not activate their communities because of embarrassment or don't know what to say?
Yes.
What would you say to those individuals?
Well, you take small steps first. So you try to figure out, I always say, choose a person that you think would be the best at it, and then buy them some cookies and go see them. You just have to take small, infinitesimal steps. There was a family that I talked to, and I was trying to convince them to go to their minister because they were really active in the church, but the church did not know. And I talked and talked at them, and he called me the next week on Monday and said, "Well, I did it. I went and talked with my minister." And he said, and that afternoon, 4 families from the church called me and said that they wanted to help us in some way. I
Mm,
mean, God is great. So
yes, yes,
you've got to reach out and you've got to trust that people are now. I'm not going to say every situation is going to work out perfectly. It doesn't, but you have to start trusting somewhere. You have to try and do it. I mean, you don't just hand your child off to someone that doesn't know what they're doing.
right.
You take incremental steps. And I always think, Dory says, and Finding Nemo to Marlin, she says, "Well, if you don't let something happen, nothing will ever happen." So you can't just hide your child away. You
Right.
have to start pushing them out.
Right, right, and get them used to people and people used to them. That's what our speaker said last time. We want our children to be used to the community and the community used to them.
That's
And
right.
then when you're talking about you can't have everybody, you got to pray. Just like I got to pray, you got to pray that God would send some people in your life that would love on your child just like you would, that would protect, make them a priority if something comes up. So I would imagine you just with all situations we have to pray that God would lead those people. And I believe we all got people assigned to us. So we just got to
Yes.
be open. And there are people who want to help us specifically because of that's God's going to lead their hearts directly to us. And I'm a firm believer of that you have
Yeah.
that God has people for you. You just got to be willing and be open to share. So
Yes.
awesome. I love that. What do you wish more people understood about parenting or supporting a child with special needs?
Well, that there are going to be embarrassing moments And that, I mean, honestly, that message really is more to our parents, is to just push through the embarrassing moments. I know when I was at my lowest points, I was really bothered when people in the community, when I can sense that they were looking at me or judging me or whatever. Now, when I'm not at my low points, I don't care. I don't care what anybody thinks about me. I've been escorted out of Target twice by security when Ethan was throwing fits on the floor and screaming. So sometimes bad things happen, and I would hope that the community would be supportive. When I see a mom having a hard time at the store, I just walk by and say, "You got this," and just you got to let people do what they've got to do.
Right, right. And I always whisper a prayer. I just whisper,
Yes.
because I remember my children trying to do all in the floor. So, it's not even hard. Or you be on a plane and baby's crying and crying, and you have people looking all funny. I'm like,
Oh,
they don't
yeah.
have no control over that. Get over
Yes.
yourself. Yeah, you have
Yes.
kids.
Yeah.
Your kids with little ones too. I would just say stuff like, "My child was once little too." They get older. I always say
Yes.
they get older. They get older. They get older.
Yes.
So yeah, just to encourage, and that may be something we can all do if we see something. Just whisper a word of prayer or just a word of encouragement, so that they know that somebody is here. We see you, and everything is going to be okay. Right? It's going to be okay, even when the crazy other people are looking crazy. What would you say to a mother or grandmother who's just received a diagnosis and is feeling overwhelmed?
Yeah. So luckily in my job, I get to do this on a weekly
Awesome.
basis with people. So, I mean, the thing that I wanted to hear the most was, "This is going to be okay." And no one would say it to me. So I tell every mom first off the bat, "This is going to be okay. It is not your fault. You did nothing to cause this to happen." And that saying those words will make a newly diagnosed mom just cry, because every mom is harboring that inside of them.
Mm,
I ate that cheesecake, or I took that medicine while I was pregnant. I have caused this. And so no, that's not the truth. You should not think that about yourself, and that you are going to do it. It is going to get better. You are going to put one foot in front of the other, and you're going to make it through it.
and I've heard her say that to people. So that's awesome. And I mean, I don't know about, anybody else on here. I'm taking notes for me to remember things that, maybe I didn't think about, little things I can do support. We just started at Brown, a new ministry for exceptional needs. Maybe, just being able to support or encourage. If you know somebody who has, just send an encourage, "Hope you're having a great day. You got this." This is helping me. And this is why I am having these conversations. So not that we're just, we want to know, is but how we can truly support individuals, moms, to be able to support them in having less stress as much as they can to have less stress. How do you take care of yourself while caring for someone else who needs so much from you?
Yeah, I don't know this one. I've been thinking about this one because I'm terrible at it. So I guess, as I said, I know when I have to step out and just take a break from things, just to try to calm down. Um, I think a lot about. When I was a school teacher, I had a principal that once said that as a teacher, that it's okay to act as though you're mad, but you can never actually be mad. And that's totally true. As a parent, sometimes we falter there. Sometimes we actually do get mad. But I try to give myself distance and give myself grace. Now that my son is older, I have lots of hobbies and things that I like to do. I know when he was young and I was in kind of the throes of all of it, I didn't really have though, I wasn't able to do those things, but I did always get to take a shower every day and, just decompress, get my hair done, those types of things.
It may be just in the bathroom on the toilet. It may be locking the door.
Yes. Yes.
I remember having to do that, and I have it.
Yeah.
We didn't have sexual needs. I would go in the bathroom, lock the door as fast as I could. just to see.
Yes, yes. Yep.
Um,
I do
uh,
have a deep abiding love for Chardonnay too. So I think that some
Chardonnay
lessons learned.
was your friend. What was it?
Yes,
What
yes.
was the
Yep.
years? I don't think this was one of the questions, but I'm curious to know when you were saying it got the toughest. What was the year span? Was it for 4 to 8? Was it 4 to 6? What was the year span for you?
It was probably 4 to 8. I was watching a video the other day that popped up in the memories of my phone when Ethan was like 8 or 9. And although Ethan always had words, he never really used words effectively until he was like 8 or 9 years old. And that started happening, things started to get easier.
Okay.
It's just a level 2 autism is just such a mystery about how language is produced. He can speak fluently, he just doesn't choose to speak as much as other people. And lots of times when he is speaking, I know exactly what he means, but someone that doesn't know him very well might be confused about what he's saying. And that's when things started to get better, was when the communication got better.
Okay. Um, so when you say level 2 autism, for those of us who aren't familiar with autism, we classify everybody. Oh, they're autistic. So what would be the
Yes.
different levels? But someone may say they have severe or they're high functioning. Can you give us a little bit?
Right, right, right. So this system is created by a group of doctors and psychologists. They come up with a diagnostic manual every certain number of years. It's called the DSM, and we're on the DSM-5 right now. And level 1 autism, and like I'm going to give like the layman's term of this, not the scholarly kind of. This is just us talking as moms. A level 1 person really is impacted socially, not with speech. Really, socially, they might have some sensory issues, like I can't stand the lights or I can't stand loud noises. But typically, they're verbally, you can't really detect their disability based on their verbal acuity. Now, a person with level 2 autism has the social deficits, the sensory deficits, and a language deficit. So that exactly what's going on there is different from person to person. There's been studies that show, like, for example, the place in your brain when you're speaking, they can see when they can do tests that they can see that how much your brain lights up in that area. So, like maybe a person with level 2 autism, their brain is not lighting up as much as everyone else's. So maybe inactivity or that portion of the brain doesn't work as well. I'm not a doctor, but I
Right.
know that that's kind of what's going on. And then level 3 autism is someone who has trouble doing like their daily living tasks without assistance. So they might be nonverbal completely. They have all the other deficits, but they might need help going to the bathroom or just going from place to place. Usually know a level 3 autistic person because they have a parent or caregiver with them at all times.
Good. That was helpful. Give her some hearts if it was helpful to you as well. Um, Thank you for sharing. I knew you would know. So I appreciate that. Okay, so this has been good, Rebecca. Thank you so very much. What are we're gonna work on you taking care of yourself. I think I can help you with that. Uh, what are some of the most beautiful or unexpected blessings that have come from this journey? The arc. I'll say that.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel like God empowered me. I mean, nothing happens without a reason, right? And I don't know if God's plan for Ethan having autism was because he wanted me to start the arc and help a lot of people, or who knows? But definitely that is a side effect of what has happened that hopefully will change this community forever, long after I'm not doing it anymore. Hopefully, we have built a house here that will stand after I leave and will continue to help the community. So I that's just a really beautiful part of the journey. Also, I've made friends, you know, there comes a time, there's a time when your child is little that really the friends that you have really are all in our circle, because you're friends with children that don't have disability, just can't understand. And so they kind of drift away from you for a while. And now I have gotten some of them back now that my child is older. But that core group of people that were going through it with me, we're still friends, because they understand the journey like no one else.
Erica says she has an autistic, she's an autistic grandma. Her grandson is nonverbal and also has ADHD. So she's
Yes.
dealing with that. If anybody else is having a direct impact, put it in the chat as well. We would love to know. If you could, if you could sum up your journey in one word or phrase, what would it be and why?
Just never give up. Never give up. Just keep moving forward. Do not stop. Don't let things derail you. You can be derailed for a second, you learn from that, and then you keep pushing forward. You try things, they don't work. Okay, that didn't work. I'm going to keep on moving forward, and don't let it stop you. I love, there's a quote from Walt Disney where he says something like, around here, we don't really look back very often. We just always keep pushing forward.
Mhm.
And I think of that all the time, is
Yeah.
that if we make a mistake, I was just talking with a parent tonight about how she is so paralyzed with fear that she made a mistake, that her daughter is not going to be able to enroll in college for next fall because she's missed some deadlines. And I'm like, okay, we cannot be paralyzed with fear about things. We're just going to try to catch it up as fast as we can. And if she doesn't make it into college this fall, there's another part of her journey ahead. She's
Right.
supposed to do something else in this next year, and it's going to be fine.
But she'll go later. But she'll
Yes,
go.
that's right.
But she'll
That
go.
is right.
Awesome. And I definitely, I tell you guys that when you have a front row seat, like I love when there can be people that come on, I respect their story and I know they're not telling a story. So I respect their story and just know them from their information and value the information. Then there's people that I can watch, like I've seen, I call it the front row seat at what's happening. And definitely Rebecca, I mean, you should hear me calling your name all the time. As soon as somebody said something about individuals with intellectual, I say, have you gone to the art? Have you met Rebecca? And this was even before I was hired to work directly with. I have always valued. So to be known when you talk about your prayer is that when you're long gone, that it has made its mark. It has made its mark. You are definitely a key part of our community. And I would always tell people the one thing I love, I see how you can see passion in people. Like when you light up with somebody, ask you about something or have a question, or I see you working, or we have to push harder for that. We can get that. I mean,
Yeah.
I love that. And it's not just saying, okay, we'll get it if we can. It's like, let's get it until we can, right? Until we can have done all that we can to get it as well. So I love to be able to say that I endorse this message. I've seen this message in action and I appreciate it. How can people, let me see if anybody have any questions. Does anybody have any questions before we talk about how we can support families like hers and even support the art? Does anybody have any questions, feedback, or even just if there's anything that she shared that encourage you, whether I know I was encouraged, and I don't even have a child with special needs, just as a woman who pushes through on something that matters most to her. Like this, to me, this is what this story represents. And not waiting for somebody to have the solution for you, is figuring out how to get what you need and then be an example, not only for your own, but for others as well. So that's what I heard in mind. Does anybody have anything before we go into information about the arc? Okay, so there's send some love, some hearts, some somethings. There's
Yes.
those reactions. So how can people support families like yours in a more meaningful and respectful way. And I'm gonna bring up so they can write down the website for the ARC. So go
So
ahead.
I do want to say before I talk
Okay.
about the ARC,
Okay.
lots of times, when you see someone and you say, "I wish I could do something to help them," and so then you go to ask the person, "Oh, what can I do to help you?" And they really don't know what to say. Well, what I have found is that when I see someone that's really struggling and I want to help, like I bake them cookies or I take them a frozen lasagna with some garlic bread to go with it, just something to try to lighten their load that will help them in a small way. Like I'm not really good at cooking meals and taking them to people, but what I am really good at is giving people $20 gift cards to McDonald's so they can take their family to go get cheeseburgers one night instead of cooking. So I
That
think
makes sense.
that's I think it's highly unlikely that someone with a child with a disability is going to have, like, they're not going to be able to say to you, I need you to do X, Y, or Z to help me. But
Mhm.
those things really do help. So if you
I
want to
love
help someone at a very personal level, I think that does help.
awesome.
Now, as far as the ARC is concerned, we definitely would like you to pray for us and our mission to help us be supportive of us through prayer. If you would like to volunteer your time, there's a place on our website. There's a drop down menu that says ways to give, and you could volunteer. We love to have volunteers, even if you only have the ability to give like one morning a month. We have a slot for you. We have something that you could do to come and be a part of our mission. Um, of course, if you monetarily are able to give, you could click the donate button. We have a kind of a special fundraiser that's coming up. You can look for on our social media. We'd love for you to follow us at the ARC NWMS on Facebook and on Instagram. Because lots of times we do kind of campaigns asking people to give small amounts of money, and we have something that's coming up soon that we'd love you to look for and grab on and be a part of and help us.
Awesome. And there's always ways. Tell them about Camp Bold and some of the other. That's one I always. I know the Supper
Uh,
Club, but tell them about because they may know somebody who could benefit. Or
yes.
can you tell them about some of the different programs?
Sure. So our nonprofit has two sides to it. We have the social program side, and then we have the work side. And so for with our social programs, we have just flat out social clubs, art classes, uh, we have a gardening club, we have an exercise club, we do cooking classes, and in the summertime we do a large camp called Camp Bold. This year it will meet all 4 weeks of June. Each week is a different age group. We will be at Church Road Baptist Church in the mornings, and we are definitely looking for one-on-one counselors. If you or your child that is high school aged or older has the ability to commit the morning of one entire week, we want you. On the website, you can go to where it says Camp Bold and you can volunteer to be a counselor. There are still some slots left in camp, although they're filling quickly. If you have a loved one that would like to participate in camp, we have spots left. And Camp Bold is a very expensive operation for us. We have to raise between $40,000 and $50,000 every year for camp. So if you have the heart to donate, we would really appreciate donations to help us raise that money.
Someone asked me today about what were the sponsorship opportunities. So I'll be talking about that tomorrow at the our meeting, so I can get that information to them. So I'm excited that they asked that question.
That's so
Um,
nice.
so someone asked, do they go to their primary? Do you go through your primary doctor to be tested or a specialist?
Oh, that is such a great question. All right. So you really have to go to a developmental psychologist to be tested. And if you're in this local area, on our website under resources, there's a list of places that you can go. But I also would be happy to talk with you one on one if you're in our area about how to navigate that specifically, because it is kind of tricky. In essence, you have to get on every single waiting list and then be the squeaky wheel to really get in. There just are not enough diagnosticians in our area that are diagnosing people right now.
Okay. Um, somebody else said, not personal, but I do have students in my class that are autistic. So do you have any tips for teachers in working with individuals with autism?
Yep. So definitely, the your each school should have special education teachers that are there to assist you. But for the most part, it is just try to be patient. And I know I'm a teacher too. And so I've been in many, many situations where I was teaching in the classroom where I was about to pull my hair out because I was trying to, get a lesson taught and someone with a developmental disability was making it so I could not get that lesson taught. And so I share that with you. I know how very difficult that is. And I think trying to remember that this person is going to move out of this phase. It is going to get better. And there are tons of techniques out there that I would be happy to talk with you about. A lot of it is really specific to the situation that you're in. Like I do have a lot of ideas and experience to help teachers, but it's kind of more of a one-on-one thing for specific situations.
Awesome. Someone said, well, not someone, LaShawn said her youngest daughter had traumatic brain injury and have had to become her advocate. And I know we have seen
Yes.
people that's through an accident as well.
Yeah. So TBIs, there is a whole Medicaid waiver that is dedicated to TBIs. And if you're a Mississippi person and have not connected to that waiver, I really want you to reach out to me. My work cell is 901 907 9041. I want
Wait a
you to
minute.
call
Wait a
me
minute. Rebecca, 901.
907 9041. And I will be happy to help you connect to the traumatic brain injury waiver and see what other kind of resources we can get, because it is a very like specific disability and not many people have it. And so I really want to make sure you're connected to all the right people. It is tough. That's a tough one. There
LaShawn,
is a traumatic brain injury support group that is in Senatobia that I've talked to a couple of times. So that's another resource too.
LaShawn, I see you were coming off mute. Were you going to say something? You're welcome to think we were talking. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for the platform, and also for the speaker tonight. I'm sorry I missed the very first part, but um, I'm very amazed at how you've stepped in and you've been an advocate in all that you've developed, and that's where I am. This is a newly appointed role for me, and it was a no question about it. I basically stepped away from work, and so I'm getting more out of it, as in I understand there are more and there's a lot of things and awareness that needs to happen. And so, yes, I will definitely be reaching out to you. But I'm specifically interested in the fundraising side of it, not just about the funds, because when families need to step away, I just haven't really seen that type of support is when you're going to take that on with the medical teams. How are you able to do that? And you can afford your life, you can continue to live every day. So
Yeah. So if I'm understanding your question correctly, like you're talking about how difficult it is when you have had to stop working and continue to live because you have to now parent your child with a disability. Is that what you mean?
correct, yes,
Yeah.
because it's challenging, it's, you can always, leave your children in a facility or something like that. But when you have families who want to be part of this process and really advocate, yes. And I just haven't found the resources to be able to do that without being concerned about everything else. So any enlightenment, and it could be a call later, but I would be interested in being creative, your ideas around being creative in fundraising, but not just about dollars, you know, what the dollars could help do.
Okay, well, I'm definitely interested in talking with you and understanding more about what you're talking about. But I do know that uh, it is a really hard thing. Lots of parents do have to step away from more lucrative jobs and take jobs that pay less money because that makes them have more flexibility, and it is really tough.
Yeah, grab her number out of the chat, LaShawn, if you didn't get a chance to write it down as well. Oh, this is good. Any other questions or comments?
Denise, can you? I don't know what happened. Her website, the art. Can you put it in the chat again? I didn't. I guess when I left it, I don't see it anymore.
Right.
So,
Yes, I will. I'll
thank
copy
you.
it. You're welcome. And yes, there's definitely some fundraising opportunities, you guys, that's coming up where I'll make sure I share it with our group, where every little bit counts. And also when you and I was just telling my daughter I had to re-sign up, but there's even a place on the website where you can just sign up to have a certain amount withdrawn every month. And every bit adds up. Like every bit matters.
Like if it's a $5 donation every month, that adds up.
Yeah.
So if 100 people give $5 a month, that makes a huge difference.
Right. So I'll be sharing that information as well. So if we have anything else, anything specifically last that you want to share with the group, Rebecca, before I
I
close?
just appreciate this platform. I appreciate you having me on and everyone being so interested and wanting to help our families. It's really wonderful.
Let me share our last. Well, let me do this real quick first before I close us out. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in on tonight as we continue to um, find ways that we can support each other and each other as women and each other as mothers. There's different ways, and then making ourselves aware of what other individuals are experiencing to see how we can also be a system. I need to do a screenshot real quick so I know who was on today, but there we go. All right, so my last share for this evening, and I did put it in. But if you have any questions or you didn't get the information out the chat, you can always reach out to me. I can definitely get in contact with her. Continue, make sure you follow us on all platforms, Empowered by DS. Stay connected with us. If you want to learn more about how to stay connected with us, the number that you got, if you got a text from me, the 662 number, you just text the word back tribe, and you'll get information on how you can connect with us. Continue to do this with the Let's Talk About It Tuesday and some of the other ways that you can stay connected with our tribe and grow with us. And then we are now empowered. I said empowered women empowered. So we don't get this information just to hold on to it personally. If you know of anybody who could benefit from this conversation, probably within the next 24 to 48 hours, this would be loaded onto my Empowered by DS YouTube channel. All our previous conversations are on there. We have some great conversations on there. So you can just take a listen to that as well, but share it. We don't get information to keep it to ourselves. We share because we care and we want to help others so that we can just build a strong community of women. So I appreciate you guys for getting on tonight. I hope that you found something that's valuable that you can use for yourself and then use to share for somebody else. Hey, Shayla, and share it for somebody else. So you guys have a great rest of the night. Thank you again, Rebecca. I will see you on tomorrow. I appreciate you sharing your story on today and encouraging us.
Thank you.
You guys have a great rest of the night.